Lisa Joa, how are you?
How are you doing?
Good to see you. Thanks for coming
having
on.
me.
Appreciate it. How was family reunion?
Wild.
What was that?
I think it's just working by day and working at night.
Working at night. What does that mean?
So the convention starts at 8, right? 8 a.m. We're there until we get there at 8:30. And you go through the sessions. You listen to Gary. You have a whole entire day of classes. And then once 5 o'clock comes along, all the happy hours. I think in one day, each day, whether Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there was at least 3 happy hours until 12 o'clock. And then somebody wants to go to the club. And then next thing you know, the sun is up. And you go back to the convention center at 8:30 in the morning.
You have a hard convention.
It was rough, but it was a lot of networking. I mean, I get a lot out of it. Most of it is just networking. Just now off the plane, I got 3 referrals.
Nice. Nice. What was the most referrals you ever got at a family reunion?
They don't come all at the same time. It's just this is the first time where right off the bat, the following week, I had 3 referrals. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. But if you ever calculate them for the whole year?
About 25% of my business is through referrals, and they're all throughout Keller Williams.
That's awesome. How do you network?
How do I network? I stay within my Asian community, to be quite honest. It's been very helpful for me. A lot of them are all Asian American. So we have this understanding, and how we communicate it's all about communication, about relationship. And you like me, I like you, and your work ethics, we all just kind of come together. And if their clients like them, they're gonna know that their clients are gonna like me.
Okay. Well, so let's start from the beginning. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Queens, in Flushing.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I never guessed that. Sure. What part of Flushing?
Downtown.
Downtown. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You were really in the heart of Flushing then.
Yeah.
So it's not like Flushing North or something like that.
I mean, Flushing North, that's where my house was. But, as far as my roots and growing up, it was Main Street, Flushing. Like, I lived close to Main Street till I was like 8 years old.
Okay.
And then my family and we moved to North Flushing, which is like a little bit more subby.
The 160s or?
Yeah, like 170s, Utopia Parkway, right around there. Went to elementary school, went to Francis Lewis High School.
You went to Friendly Lou?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're Patriot.
Yeah?
I think they're still Patriot.
I think they are. I didn't go there, but I went
It's okay,
to
I didn't stay there
Hollows,
very long. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, really? Where'd you go after that?
GD.
Okay, there you go. So, all right. So you did with my.
I think like one of my, just segueing into career-wise, I've always been in sales, right? Even when I was 14, I sold cell phones, cold calling, selling cell phones.
That's pretty cool.
And I had my working papers. I worked in retail, and it was just.
So you weren't a good student?
No, never.
I would have taken you differently.
I think growing up, I forced myself to be more polished, right? I was never always, and I think getting into the industry was kind of a little tough for me too, because I knew I wasn't as polished. I wasn't in school. I wasn't as educated. I wasn't as smart as some of the other kids that
Wouldn't say that.
had the other careers, right? That was my struggle. But I would say my key, like my personality shines out, right? I make great conversations. I get personal. I'm not too salesy. I actually genuinely care about people and everything that they do, and I think that's where I got most of my leads.
I will say this: when we got involved in Gold Coast, I did gravitate towards you the most.
Oh, thank you.
I really did. I thought you were, you were the coolest person. I thought you were. Not that everybody else wasn't, but I did.
It's okay to be honest.
And yeah, you do have like this calming feeling about you in the whole world where it wasn't salesy, inviting. It made our I guess buy-in a lot easier when we came in and did that.
So I'll take credit for that then.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. And I think it did. It made things a lot easier. Now, where did you start? When did you get your real estate license?
Right around 2004.
When was it?
2004.
Wow. So it's me, you, and David like the same time.
Yeah.
That was 2003, 2004.
I was on a team, right? We were the biggest team in Manhattan. And
Oh, so you started in Keller?
I started at Douglas Elliman.
Okay.
And I joined one of the biggest teams at Douglas Elliman.
Who was that?
Uh,
If you don't want to say
yeah.
it.
Well,
It's a big team.
It was a big team. Is Elan Broca.
Okay. So you were part of Elan's group.
Right. He was my biggest mentor. I was with him for 15 years.
Great guy, by the way. I like him.
Yeah.
I really do.
I think like it worked well. I learned so much from him, and I grew up and just knew everything. I learned it all. Took every position, every aspect of how to do sales, what to do, how to grow a business, what are the ups and downs of it. So I think like just, there were a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And I think that's what really makes me who I am today, like having the calm personality, because I always felt like that I was the person to tell everybody, like, it's okay. We're going to get through this. Like, we went through recessions. We went through so many different things, a lot of heartaches, personal lives and business lives. And, as much as this is a business, and one of the reasons why I enjoy the core is that there are 2,000 different personalities. And you don't have to do this alone. I've always had this team personality, and I think just going into having my own team really just made me so different from wanting to be an independent agent. Like, I see these mega agents who are solo, and I don't think I can do it. Like, I have my intern in the office right now, and it's like she's there Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's so great to have her there. I have 2 other agents right now that's on my team, and I also have a full-time assistant. And you just can't do it all by yourself. You just have to. You need to leverage, besides the whole business platform perspective, right? Like, just mentally, you can't do it all alone. You can't go further by thinking that you have to do everything by yourself. And I think for me, mentally, I just want to be able to be around people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Elan Broca, you start out with Elan, I'm assuming doing very well because he had a pretty big team back in the day, right?
He had a big team.
How long were you with them when you made this switch over to Keller?
We went together.
You did, right? But how long when you started with him in 2004? I think it was 2011, right?
We opened January 2011.
Remember that?
We were number 2. We were number 2 in transactions in nationwide.
Okay.
Nationwide. And I think that's how he got recognized to open up Keller Williams in Manhattan. Because, Gary's all about transactions, right? Forget about your volume. So we opened up Keller Williams January 2011. And
who was that group? It was him?
It's just us.
Just your group?
Yeah. It was just us, and then it was just keep recruiting. Then Adina came, and she helped recruit as well. And
so Adina wasn't with you guys?
No, it was still Adina with Adina Equities. She had her rental team, and we had our.
Who was she with? She was with Element also, or who? She was just on her own?
She was on her own, yeah. She still had her retail store.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So she joined, and then...
She was the team leader.
Adina? Oh, that's right. Was she the first TL?
No. We had Carrie Weiss, who was...
I remember her.
She is Mark Weiss's wife. They own the Capitol.
Right. Yes. I didn't know she was the first. Oh, yes, you're right.
She was the interim.
That's right. She was the interim until Adina came in. That's right.
Right.
Now you're bringing back memories. Wow. Okay. Yeah, when I met with Carrie in Albany, when I was going for the position of the OP, I had to meet with them. Yeah. Because he was the regional director.
Correct.
Back then. So they all came in. So Elan owned, back then, he owned, the Keller Williams, New York City, and he owned the region. Where his partners in the region.
Just Manhattan.
Yes, the Manhattan region. And so were you with Elizabeth, and was she with you, or did she come later?
Elizabeth, no, that was much later.
That was much later, okay.
We were still at Trump Towers at the time.
Interesting. When did you leave Trump Towers? Give a little bit of history.
Man, I don't even remember. It's probably maybe 2013.
13?
Then we moved to 425 Park. Then 425 Park was sold and it was being demolished, and we went to a Regis for a little bit, and like probably 2016.
And then you went to the big one.
Then we went to the
Was
one
an awesome office. I love
at,
that office.
I don't even remember the address anymore.
I don't
the
either.
one,
It was 6th Avenue, I think it was.
Yeah, it was on 45th and 6th.
Yep. It was a beautiful building.
Yeah.
That was really sweet. That was a
That's
second
where-
floor, right? Second or third floor?
6th floor. I
Sixth
think,
floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
6th floor.
What was that like going through all of that? Was that difficult or?
I mean, the beginning, the transition is the same thing, Keller Who, right? We all just had to make our way and explain to everybody what the benefits of Keller Williams. So the benefits of Keller Williams when you first join, it's always like you get 100% of your commission, and they gravitate towards that. But I have to say, as a office that did not know what we were doing, we're not cultured. We were not 100% sure what was.
And
what
Elan was
Keller
still in
was
sales and
he was still in sales, but foundationally, we didn't know what we were doing. None of us did. Like, I think we all loved the idea of owning like a brokerage, and that we're gonna start something. And I believed in Elan, right? Like he was my mentor. It's like my brother, and it's like, you know what, wherever you go, I'll got your back, that kind of thing.
Sure.
And I still believe in that, right? Like till this day, I always, if he ever need anything, he calls me up. I got his back. But
same thing with
whatever
me.
the case.
Yeah, I think he's an awesome guy. I really do. I love him.
But
And I learned a lot from Elan. I really did. He's a smart guy. He really
he's
is
a great guy.
Amazing salesperson too. Amazing real estate guy.
I've told him several times, like, stop managing, just go back into sales.
Sure. Yeah, I think you're right. And we talked about that, me and him.
I think, like, with Keller Williams, one of the things that what made me love it more was the unity, was the culture.
Yep.
And as we opened up shop, but we had nothing on the shelves. We didn't know what to do. We had to switch all the exclusive agreements. We had to bring them to the new office. All that was happening. It was working till midnight every night, and then starting again until 9 a.m.
I always said, and I think this is what had to be. I think when I came into the New York City marketplace, it was a lot easier for me because you guys laid the groundwork. And I always said this: if I would have taken it over first, it would have never worked, because I would have went in there with the Keller mentality and made it a Keller. You know, I always tell people that the way Elan did it was really run like an Element in some ways, right? And he had to do it that way because Keller Williams wouldn't have made it with, and I really do believe this, that if we would have just went with our brand, like all the other brands that went into the city and tried, it wouldn't have made it. So they had to copy something, and he copied Element, and he ran it in that way. But you're right, with 100%, and, you had that cabin model where people were attracted to it. So it was pretty good model for you guys. When did they open up Tribeca?
Oh, I can't remember. I was 2015, 2016.
Oh, so they opened it up early.
A lot of it happened within less than 10 years.
Yeah.
Right, we opened January 2011, and I left the office officially in 2016.
Oh, you left the city and went to
At Gold Coast.
At Gold Coast, but you were still part of it.
2017. I parked my license there, my
Correct.
city license in there, because I do business in both
places.
both boroughs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then Mark Chin was the team leader.
TL,
He
yeah.
was in Tribeca, though.
Tribeca.
And then Leslie, I guess, was the one in Manhattan at the time, right?
Right. Then there was Liz Cho for the interim.
Yes. When I was buying it, it was Elizabeth Cho.
Yeah.
She was doing a deal, and then what I did was I converted them both into one, and I moved them in, and now we're building them out again. But that was an interesting time. That was had to be exciting going through that, and also nerve-wracking because you're not getting everything done that you need to get done in the real estate camp, right?
I'm going to be honest, jumping into opening up the market center wasn't exactly all fun and games.
Oh, no, it couldn't be.
It wasn't the easiest. So whoever thinks that they can open a brokerage like tomorrow, it's not the easiest, right? Everyone is always asking me like, why don't you just go and do your own thing? You make enough money.
God
and,
bless,
like,
huh?
you're gonna have your own team. Like, why do you stay with Keller? It's like, because I don't want to do the paperwork. I don't want to sit in on the board meetings. I'd rather have the mothership pay off the NAR dues that I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to pay. Right? It's
right.
like it's not easy. And I have to say, I resent the process so much that it made me just hate it.
Really?
It. Yeah, I was like, I didn't enjoy it. I just managing agents on a office level.
It's like herding cats.
Yes, it was
It's tough.
nuts.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I enjoyed sales much better. I mean, I think I can do sales in any brokerage,
Mhm.
but it's your community that matters the most. Like who has your back and who's going to go to war with you, and no shit talking, no bullshit, no like there has to be a camaraderie, and that's where I think that's why even though Gold Coast have gone through so many changes, I still stuck it through because I'm a ride or die,
Mhm.
right? Like no matter what, I won't fall out of something just because that
Didn't go your way.
it didn't go my way,
Mhm.
right? Exactly. Like with the city, I left because there was nothing there
Mhm.
for me. I stayed there for as long as I could until Elan just said he's leaving.
So he came to me, I think it was 18.
Yeah.
We were working on it 2 years.
I know. So I just left at 17.
Wow. And it was tough. It was a tough, they made it tough on him. It was, I guess he made
It's
it tough
hard
on
to
himself.
see too. From my perspective, it was hard to see.
Yep.
Like it was as though you built this house and you just couldn't stay.
Yeah.
And,
It's creepy, right? In some way.
and
It's strange.
that's where I was. Like I tried to stay in the city as much as I can. I just couldn't handle it anymore mentally. Like it was. I don't think I've ever told anybody this. It was just like some people in passing have asked me like, "How come I left?" I'm like, there was nothing there for me.
Anymore.
Yeah, what was there for me was the team.
Yep.
But it was done.
Was Ethan on that team too, or Ethan Leifer?
No, I don't think. Oh yeah.
His wife was the assistant, right?
No, Ethan Leifer. Yeah, his wife was the assistant, but not Ethan. Ethan was still at Corcoran, something like that, or Compass.
I remember him with Keller because he was at Gold Coast for a while.
Was he?
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't that aware. I was starting new.
Okay.
Like pretty much like on my own. Like as though I wish I started the same way how I started back then in like 2004. My first listing was 3.5 million.
That's awesome. Was it in the city or?
It was in the city. Like all my business in the city was up until 2016. And that's when I decided to transition into Gold Coast.
What made you? What driven you to Manhasset?
I moved to Roslyn.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So you go there, you're part of there, and then
It was the easiest commute.
They opened up in 20.
I have not a clue.
They were running when you were there.
Yeah,
it
they
wasn't
were
like
already
you opened up again with them.
Right, exactly. They had their shit together.
Because I think I
gonna go
bought into Greater Nassau in 2013,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. Either 2011 I left Bayside and went to Greater Nassau. 2013 we bought Greater Nassau, and I think that's when Gold Coast started with that history lesson, and they built, which was another great company. Those guys did wonderful things there. It was amazing what you guys did.
I think the person who really led it was Esther.
Amazing person.
So, yeah, she was a great recruiter, great influencer. But I really just went wherever that was closest between, because I didn't want to go further east.
Esther was one of my favorite people too.
Because I had to go into the city, right? So I was dealing with the commute up until I was pregnant in 2018.
Oh wow!
And then I just drove in all the time whenever I had to go for appointments. Then then I just got used to driving, and then COVID hit. I wasn't going to take the public transportation. And
That's right. Cool.
now I just drive every day, and there's $9 congestion pricing.
Hopefully that goes away soon.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm hoping it does. I got faith.
It was great because the first month there was no traffic.
Yeah, but now there's traffic again.
Yeah, but now there's traffic again. So it means that people rather pay the $9 than deal with the MTA.
I honestly think it's because I think just people think that it went away when Trump said it went away. I don't mean to get political, but remember when they came in and they said, I'm doing away with congestion pricing? And they took it out and it was all in the paper. I think we were in Vegas when it happened. So I was getting text messages, congestion pricing's gone, it's gone. And so I think people still believe that it's gone. We didn't take it to court. I really do believe that. That's
I
why
mean,
it's
I
traffic.
hope that they take it to court because there's still lots of traffic going on even so now. But I actually lost the listing because I was going back and forth with it was a retail condo space. I was going back and forth with the seller, telling him like it's not worth this price. You know, everyone always thinks that their shit is worth more than what it really is. And I said, no, you're this retail store. It's going to cost more for people to bring in inventory for the store, whoever buys it. So it's like, plus on top of that, the condo retail is not exactly up and up compared to residential. So you can't really look at commercial numbers to retail numbers. And he's like, oh, look at this article. It's done. There's no more congestion pricing. So I lost the listing because I was too combative. Yes, I'm a bitch, but I mean, it's like I was telling the truth, right? And next thing you know, the congestion pricing is there.
It's back on.
Yeah.
So it's,
But the guy's ego is so high that he's not going to give me back the listing. But it is what it is. I'd rather not deal with it.
Who cares?
Yeah, move on with
Where
it.
where was it?
It's in the heart of Chinatown.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, so nothing wrong with Chinatown. I love my community, but you can't think that something is not worth that price, you know?
That's so interesting. So you end up going to Gold Coast. Now, what's your business consist of? Like right now, you tell me, what does it look like? Explain to me what your world. We'll start out with this. Let's start this way. When you got in, how did you learn how to run a team? Through, I guess, the Elan Broca team, right? And learn how to do that. Mm-hmm. And I guess you mirrored that in some way, right? And,
yeah, and added in the Keller.
So, and then added in the Keller, right? So now you go over to Gold Coast and you're running a team now, right?
My own team, yeah.
What does that look like?
I lack recruiting.
Okay.
Right off the bat, I'll just tell you what's wrong with it. Rather, it's like you always think that is a perfect world when you have great members. You'll have great years, right? You have great people with you, but there's always going to be turnover. So you always have to continuously recruit, and because the turnover is real. You can't just keep waiting that someone's going to stay by your side all these years.
Why is that?
They want to grow themselves, right? Like you recruit, you want good people, they become great, and they want to do their own thing. Yeah. And actually in reality, I'm okay with that.
You should be.
As long as they're on my downline. But in reality is that like you always, whatever you put out to the universe, you'll get back, right? My humble personality is that like, is that what you want? Go ahead, right? But I want nothing more than you to be successful. And if you think being successful means that you're going to go off on your own and have your own team or be a solo agent, whatever it is, then I wish you best of luck.
What does your team consist of though right now? What does it look like? An assistant? How many buyers agents?
I have an assistant. I have an intern. I have 2 agents. They're primarily buyer agents.
Okay.
But they, through experience, through time, it's always a free-for-all, right? That's not exactly Gary Keller's way of thinking. Everyone should be segregated to a buy side or a sell side, but I train them and teach them to catch fish. Doesn't matter what fish, small fish, big fish, little fish. It's
catch a fish.
just catch a goddamn fish, right? I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Just throw the line and whatever it is, if you need help wheeling it in, I'm there for you. That's my motto. Like, I don't want any agent to think that they can't do it themselves, or if they need help, they have to learn how to ask. I'm not a mind reader. But what I'm good at is that I'm going to encourage you to do what you got to do. Stay focused, be coachable, be accountable, and just take in everything that I'm able to offer you. And if you're not, don't come back to me. It's like, well, those things don't work. Like, well, did you do this, and this? And if you come back and say no, then that's your problem.
Right. So, and then the assistants are doing the day-to-day.
The day-to-day, the transactions, my emails, making sure offers go in, offers go out, the contracts are signed, communicate with showings.
How much on the accountability are you with your team? Like
Daily.
Daily accountability? So you're meeting every day with them? And
well, at least like we have chats, like text.
Okay.
I would love to have conversations, but conversations, people don't seem to like to talk on the phone anymore.
That's crazy, right? Or Zoom. Well, you got Zoom now, so you could do that.
They're just too. It just seems that they're
That's a good
too
thing.
busy to call. It's fine. So sometimes I just.
Or is it just an excuse?
Yeah, or an excuse,
Nice.
or I just call and I say, "Hey, what do you have to say? Just spill it all out now. Tell it to me."
So how are they getting most of their business? Is it through you or is it referrals like we were talking
So
earlier?
if they're newer agents, they do a lot of my showings, and I give them a share of like either my buy sides or my sales or my listing sides. As long as because I need help, right? Like leverage. I can't always be in so many different places at once. So they would get a piece of that, or they can go out and get their own clients through their own sphere. I'm a huge believer of like sphere of influence. I think like 95% is through my sphere and referrals.
How did you end up getting that sphere? What did you do? Like what kind of networking do you do?
So when I was with Elan, it was all Elan's leads, right? But then my first listing, which was on Central Park South at Essex House, it was $3.5 million.
That's awesome.
It was through at happy hour through this gentleman's son who I didn't even remember him. He one day on my direct line, his name is Allen Ginsberg. He calls me. It's like, "Hi, are you Lisa Joa?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." It's like, "Well, my son Ronald told me to call you." I'm like, "Okay, sure."
Ronald's a great guy.
Yeah, Ronald's a great guy. Not a clue who Ronald was, right? And it's like, "Well, he said that you're gonna be able to sell my apartment on Central Park South." I'm like, absolutely. When can I meet you? Let's do this. We signed the listing, and it is Central Park South. We had a lot of showings, but it still took about 4 months to sell.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the delay? Just the market.
Yeah, it's just the price, it's the market.
This is 2004, you said, right?
2004, 2004,
That's crazy.
2005.
What's that property worth now, do you think?
It was also going through winter, I think.
Okay.
Now it's still about like 3.5, 3.
Oh, it didn't really.
4 million. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. So what did you like? And again, not to compare. I guess it's the same no matter where you are. City or Long Island?
I was just talking about this with Yadlin yesterday. I think I prefer the city.
Do you really?
I do. I like it better. I like the culture of the transaction better. Not to say it's any of the agents at Keller Williams. It happens.
Yep.
But I feel a lot of the times my transactions with other brokers within like Nassau County and Queens, it doesn't go as smoothly.
Well, we were talking about this too the other day. It's interesting. Why is that?
I have not a clue. Like
Right?
the
It's
ethics
interesting.
is so bad.
Yeah.
The professionalism is crap. And honestly, you don't have to speak perfect English to really understand how to be a person.
Yeah. I think it's Manhattan is one side's going to work with the buyer, one side. It's just understood that.
It's understood. Correct.
Right. And
No
everything's
one tries to
50-50.
double dip.
Yeah, no one's double dipping, and it's
If they do, great, but they won't
rare.
make it a standing point.
correct.
Like it won't be discussed like, oh, so I have this other deal and it's a direct buyer. Will you give up your commission? I had somebody ask me that.
Wow. To give up your commission.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
And I said, okay, you have a direct, but is your price higher than mine? Did not say anything. She was a Douglas Elliman broker in Bayside, and it was my own brother's house.
Wow.
So she goes, well, okay, so I'm going to work, I'm going to work this deal out with you. So I figured that since he's your brother, that maybe you want to like cut a break and like take less commission. I'm like, excuse me?
Get to spend my money? Yeah, what do you think you are?
And so I'm like, so what's going to happen with the other? Like 0.5%.
Yeah.
So she's going to she wants to pocket it. So I'm like, no. Unless if you can prove to me that the other deal is a higher price than mine, then
Absolutely
no.
not. So now you were working with the seller, or
My brother was the buyer.
oh, your brother was the
So
buyer?
the story is that there's this house in Bayside. We saw it. We liked it. I told my brother what to do because I'm in charge.
Yeah.
So I told him, pay this price, and I'll take care of the
Brother,
rest.
older or younger?
Older.
Oh my God. Okay, there you go.
I'm the younger one, so I'm the youngest out of the three, and I have 2 older brothers.
Okay.
So I said, just pay this price. You want the house? You don't want the house? Bing, bang, boom. That's it, right? And I called the broker, submit the offer, and she tells me this story like, oh, I have this other direct buyer. Would you give up your commission? I'm like, 100%. I was like, well, maybe a little bit. And I'm like, where's it gonna go? Like, well, I figure since she's your brother that you'll get, you will give some up so then he can have the house. I'm like, no, I need to know what's going to happen to the commission.
Yeah, that's insane.
We're having this conversation because you clearly don't have that price, right? I'm the highest price. You already showed me your cards.
Right.
So you're going to give me the house or I'm going to take you to court.
Smart. And you won.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
There you go. That's awesome.
But that's the thing. It should, just comparing MLS and Manhattan, we have these unfortunate situations where we have to negotiate that way, and it sucks. Like the camaraderie with other agents in this community is so bad.
How do we change that?
Like if I could make everyone a Keller agent, it'd be wonderful because then there's that like, hey, this person's in my office. Let me play it nice. We'll try to work together. We're all kind of coming together.
I always looked at it, though. It's funny you said that because I always looked. I was talking to a signature agent not too long ago, and wasn't trying to recruit him, just friends. It was just one of those things where we're just bullshitting. And he said, you know what I like about you, Rich, is you consider us all one. And I do. I think we're all one. It's like you just said, they're all Keller agents. We're all realtors, so we have to work together. And it doesn't make sense to me where you have to compete against each other. You work with each other to get the best deal for the homeowner and, or the buyer, whichever one you're working for now. And back then, though, it was always the homeowner because we worked for the seller, right? And I understand these law changes and what it's about because I was that guy that I would tell my buyer, look, I work for the seller. I'm going after everything in your pocket because I work for the seller. If you want to hire me as a buyer's agent, then so be it. I'll work for you, and I'll do things that you never imagined that can happen to get you that cut. But otherwise, I work for the seller. But the seller's not working with you. It's with a different company. Doesn't matter. We still work all on the same team.
That's right.
I don't know why that doesn't resonate in Long Island.
No, it really is mind-blowing.
I'm not saying everybody's like that.
Not everyone's like that, but it kills me on the inside that you have to do all these things just to get the deal done. You have to understand the brokerage community is very small.
Yeah, it's very
right?
small.
Like
right.
There are probably like 30,000 agents from Montauk to Manhattan. Is it 30,000?
Something like that, yeah. I don't even know anymore.
That's the last number I remember. But maybe some of them dropped out because
everything going on.
They don't know how to catch fish. But
that's right. That's what it is.
But with 30,000 agents, it's a very small community. You're bound to see each other again.
Absolutely.
So, I get recruiting calls all the time from other brokerages. And there's this one particular brokerage that's in East Williston and calls me like all the time to go there. And me and that team leader were great. But I said I would never join your brokerage because there's one woman who just really made me. That was very unprofessional and very unprofessional in front of my clients, in front of me, in front of her client. And I would never go there because I don't want to be in the same, breathing the same air as her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just disgusting. In my phone, I actually put her as do not answer, unfortunately.
I've done
that.
So
if she wants to make an appointment, she has to go through showing time.
Yeah, I've done that. I know where you're at, so it's unfortunate. And I've had that. I don't understand why though. Yeah, I really can't. I can't understand why. It was funny when I was selling and I was an agent in Bayside. I made it a point to make sure that I had a good relationship with every agent out there.
Yeah.
And even the ones, I don't want to mention names, but even the ones that didn't cooperated with me. And because again, I made it where look, we're here together. You know, just the way I was. I wanted you know how me and Linda got together, right?
No.
So
She told me a different story, but I don't know.
I'm sure.
I don't want to.
So Forced her, and she was in Forest Hills. I was working in Forest Hills as an agent at the time. There was just something about it that I knew we were going to be in a partnership together. So we had a deal in a co-op in, I forgot what building it was. It's Forest Hills. She comes to me looking for the buyer. She has the buyer side. And I said to her, okay, this is where we're at. I got X amount of offers on the table. Here's where yours stand. If you need to come up, I'm going to compete. I'm going to put them against each other, and the highest one's going to win because just the way I am. Who's the other offer with? It's one of mine. Oh, bullshit. That means I'm going to have to compete against you. No, Linda, you don't have to compete against me. What I want is you to come up with your best and final. My guy's going to come up with his best and final. And at the end of the day, whoever's the most qualified in the best and final is going to win because that's who my client's going to choose. Okay, she was reluctant on doing it because, automatically thought it was mine. She won. And at the end, it was and here was the crazy thing, Lee. It was maybe on 3% on both sides, we were looking at 4,500. It was crazy. And I always looked at that as sitting there going, it's $4,500. Why am I going to ruin a relationship over $4,500? Why would I burn a relationship with another realtor for $4,500? I wouldn't do that for $100,000 because, again, I probably wouldn't do it for $1 million with relationships. And I know people think I'm crazy. I value the business that much with relationships that I want you to be working with me because, think about it, $4,500. If me and you have a great relationship, it means how many deals can we do together? Right. I could do literally 30, 40 deals with you in a lifetime, maybe more, hopefully more. And then in that case, maybe, in a year, you're looking at 10, 15 deals with the same person if you're working,
in the same community.
In the same community.
Exactly.
When I worked in the co-op world, we were turning and burning a lot of co-ops when I was coming up. When I worked with America's Bravest, we would boom, in and out. I worked with everybody, Element, this one, that one. Terry Deso back in the day. It was just so many of us, Albion, and I go on with names. I don't even know if you know them. But it was like we all worked together to get the property sold, and you move on to the next one. And I don't know where that went. And maybe it didn't go anywhere. Maybe it's just the way people act because there's very far and few between deals that I think they're looking at it for their pocket, and that's not the way the world works. If you're going to be best for your client, you got to do what's right for your client. And I really do mean this where they're my boss. I got to make it, I got to make them happy. And what that means is if I got to lose some to win a client over, it's that much more important to me. Because I always also looked at every client. And again, I don't know if this is the right way or the wrong way. It worked for me, so I guess it's the right way. I looked at every client. If I did right for them, no matter what, and if that meant me losing, whatever you want to say, a deal because mine wasn't the best offer on the table and the best conditions, I wasn't going to lie to my client and say it was because they were going to find out. And if the deal fell through, I was going to look bad. And I learned that from Jeannie in a way where don't piss your clients off because if you piss your clients off, they're not going to refer your business. And you said it earlier, we're in that business to get referrals also. If they like to work with you, they're going to give you business. So if you do right by them, you're looking at another 10, 15 deals easy from your clientele if you're doing right by them. So I never got that with the Long Island agents. I'm not saying Long Island agents.
It's Queens too.
It's all of them. Yeah, it's everywhere, I guess. But
I mean, I
but
don't
the
do
city,
Staten
you don't see it.
Island.
You don't Staten Island's a different
I don't
beast.
know. I don't know the market in Staten Island or the Bronx, but I know for a fact for Queens and Nassau and Suffolk County, they're all like that.
I'll mention this, and I usually don't, but Staten Island, we had a deal in Staten Island, Jeannie and I had a listing. The lady would not list with anybody else but me. And the reason she listed with us was because...
You're Italian?
No, had nothing to do with that. It's because of Bernie Williams from the Yankees. And I got her on a call with Bernie. And she was just so happy because she was a big Bernie fan that she loved me that I was able to do that. And so she listed with us. But here was the kick to it. You have to come to every showing.
Oh, boy.
I live in Westchester, and I work on Long Island most of the time. I think I was in the city at the time, and I'm not gonna freaking drive to Staten Island every day. $1 million property, so I put out 6% on it, 3 and 3. Got death threats from the brokers. Literally, you can't do 3%. What, I gotta do more? No, 1%. And I'm like, what? Yeah, we only give out 1%. You keep 5 for yourself and you give 1. I was like, I don't work that way. They didn't show my place. The brokers told their agents not to show my place. And amazing to me, because I would sit there and tell the brokers, it's 3 times you're making. It's a deal. Why wouldn't you show it? And I had a lot of people coming to me asking me to work with us, and we didn't have a place in Staten Island at the time. So, one that's there now, Valerie's doing an awesome job there. So I would have sent them there, but nothing to do with Staten Island. That's a different borough. That's crazy.
There's a lot of politics there as well.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But I think, back to the point that we don't have, that we don't have that here in Long Island or in Queens. I mean, if the seller is able to pay more, great. But just the sharing of it is wild. Like the idea of it is like, what's the problem with sharing? These are my buyers, right? That's why with the whole new NAR settlement is there's no point of making office exclusives.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? You see something that's listed, but you don't put it on MLS, and you say it's private. You already have the option not to pay the buyer's agent, right? Why not just publicly advertise it? Right? I don't want to name names, but it's just always just crazy, right? Like, why have an office exclusive?
It makes no sense to me either. But what else are you looking to do? I heard we were talking earlier about the communities. What was that all about?
Which communities?
You were talking about the Asian community that you're looking to possibly be a part of, right? In Keller Williams world.
So I'm Asian American, right? I always found it very difficult for me to find a community that I can resonate with, right? Like doing business in Manhattan, most of the clients were always Jewish or American, or basically non-Asian. To be quite honest, the Asians in Manhattan at the time were very, very Chinese, where I speak Cantonese fluently, but most of them, they speak Mandarin. So I had trouble finding my community niche of clients, right? But aside from the clients, in 2019, I discovered Pan Asian.
Okay.
Keller Williams Pan Asian. All right. It's a community that's approved by Keller Williams International. It's a free organization where we have a community to kind of like share stories, refer business. And I really like that, right? And I think for me, the president of Pan Asian is actually located in Denver. His name is Ian, and then I have another friend who's also leading it. His name is Francis, and he's in LA. So I've been talking to Francis a lot and asking him, like, let me try to see what I can do to help you on the East Coast, because when you have all the coasts come together, it might be an easier sweep to kind of bring things together. But I feel that there's still some differences, because according to Keller Williams International, is that it can't just be segregated to one type of diversity, right? It has to be all of Asia. And so I think some of the Chinese who don't feel that they can relate to the group. So and I think for me, I haven't really expressed this. I think I'm okay with that. Right, I think those who can't appreciate to be amongst other Asians, like, that's fine. Be on your own. You'll find you have your own niche. But for me, I feel like there needs to be like a group of Asian Americans. We're
More the merrier.
yeah, the more the merrier. Whoever can come together. If you feel it's not so going into real estate, you're always a solo. You're a solo agent. You're in business by yourself. You don't have to be. You have a community that's there for you. And being Asian American, like my parents were never supportive of being in sales. They've always like, oh, it's being in sales is not a hard paycheck every week. Are you sure you're gonna be okay? My Asian parents, they rooted me to the ground like, oh, you're not that great. You should have something that's more solidified. They always give you the negative stuff, right? And a lot of us grow up the same way because our parents, like if you're an immigrant forget about Asians, right? If you're an immigrant, your parents came here, they washed, they washed dishes, cooked in the back or whatever it is. They don't off the bat become business owners. And if they did, they worked 7 days a week, 15 hours a day. And I think a lot of our parents who are immigrants, they all tell us like, don't do that to yourself. Don't work those 15-hour days or 17-hour days. Do the 9 to 5s and have a normal life. But what's a normal life, right? A normal life requires me to still listen to somebody that doesn't respect me and expect me to be there the next day by 8:59, and then I don't get to leave like maybe 7 o'clock, even though my hour is supposed to be clocked out at 5. And if I leave at 5, like you get frowned upon. So what matters more, our lifestyle or money? So it really depends like how you want your life to be. For me, I've always my big why was always like, I thought it was going to be your family, your children, and family, your children, right? But after I had those things, it's me. My big why is me.
I get that.
And I do everything that in my power to throw everything into my business so I can make money for me. Like I go home and I tell my parents like, mom's poor because I spent all that money on me and you. But it's like my whole big thing of why I continue to stay in real estate is so I have that flexibility and also be able to be my own boss.
That's awesome. So what would you, if you're sitting here with a younger you, and I just asked this to Dave, I thought that was he gave me an interesting answer. What advice would you give yourself in 2004?
Finish school.
Oh, really?
I'm a double dropout. Like, dropped out of high school, dropped out of college.
What college did you go to?
Well, when you drop out of high school, you get your GD and you get your community. I went straight to community college.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I did a year and a half, and then I started working for Elan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So which college, Baruch or?
No, Baruch's not a community college.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's a regular.
College,
it's a city college. So I went to Queens Community College.
Okay.
I would say if I was sitting in front of my younger self, like just finish school.
Okay.
Finish school. Will it do anything? Maybe not. But at least then it's like a talking point.
Gives you something you completed.
Yeah. Not that I can't do it now. I think I think now it's just a different path.
Okay.
Where I don't think I would just do it recreationally.
Okay.
I think that's my simple answer. If I could tell my younger self like what to do back in 2004 is to finish school.
Finish school.
No.
Yeah, that's good. Good advice.
Yeah.
Say the same thing. It's important. It gives you a sense of accomplishment.
Because I don't want to live with regret. Right? I don't want to say what else there I could tell my younger self because I'm happy with what I have.
Yeah.
I'm happy with everything that's happened. Like part of a transaction, you have your ups and downs, right? You have to enjoy. You're at the closing table. That's great. You collect the money. That's the great part. But sometimes there are always transactions that don't work out, and you have to enjoy those moments too.
That's right. So let me switch the tone here a little bit. So I'm always amazed by you. What else are you into? I know you're big into cars.
It's a car. I don't like to work on the motor. I just like to drive.
What's your favorite car?
I would want a 911.
Did you ever have one?
No.
No. What was your fastest car you drove?
M5.
M5.
Yeah.
Is that better than 911 or?
Like a gas car. I mean, I haven't. We were supposed to go driving cars, but then
goal?
I don't know. Like the electric cars are pretty fast too.
I just got an S580 hybrid.
Nice. The hybrids are.
It's electric and gas, so it's.
But
tell
will
you
it
what,
slow
it's
it down?
fast. No,
Still.
it's fast.
Oh, okay.
Fast as oh my god! The other day I was driving home. I think it was last night, and I was on the sprain, and I flew by a cop. I kind of got to get out of jail free, thank God. But I flew by. I was doing $1.15,
Okay.
and he didn't hit the lights. It was just like boom, I was gone. I was just like, oh.
I feel the electric cars or even the hybrid cars, they
You didn't even
quiet.
know it.
Yeah, they quiet you down.
Yeah, it does.
So I have an electric car now, and
Which one you have?
I have the M50. So it's i4 M50.
Yep.
I go 0-60 in like 3 seconds.
That's insane.
So
right?
it's fast. It
Anthony Zani had one.
It's
where
insane.
He had the Tesla that did that. That was like, I think it went 0 to 60 in 2 point something.
yeah, I think that's the Model X.
Is that the
maybe?
Model X?
I don't know. I'm not a huge Tesla fan. We
Yeah,
had a
neither am I.
Tesla.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we hated it. I hated it.
Did you really?
Yeah, it felt unsafe.
Okay.
It's smart, but it wasn't fast enough.
Wasn't
Sorry,
slow enough, bro.
it wasn't. It was smart, but it didn't feel safe. I think the make of the car was
It's
just
important.
very, like the handling wasn't so great.
Really? So compared to a Beamer or a
course,
Mercedes, it's not the
100%.
same. Well,
Yeah.
Beamers are known for the handling.
Yeah.
How's that car handled? Really well, or
Real well.
Even though
It
it's
drives like an M3.
is
or
it
M5.
is it heavy or
I stick to the ground pretty well.
you do right?
Yeah, I think the battery is pretty heavy.
I was gonna say that has to be the because that's what I feel in my car. It's heavy on the back end because the battery's in the trunk.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I was asking my when I bought the car, I was like, "Why is the trunk so small?" Because there's a battery in there.
But yours is in the back. Ours is on the bottom.
Yours
think it's in
is
the bottom.
on the bottom of
Yeah.
the back.
No, in the front. Sorry, in the front. So the window.
Well, you have no engine, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
there's no engine. Yeah, so the battery's in the front. Sorry, Tesla's on the bottom.
Yep.
I guess yours in the back.
mine's in the back. And then with the engine, though, what is that like to work on that or something? Like that? You don't know, but
I have not a clue.
they just have to
I'm
replace
just-
the battery, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
So the battery is a 8-year warranty.
Okay.
I
And
just
then
like to drive.
how's the charge on yours?
It sucks. It like today's what, like 45 degrees,
Yep.
right? So I have 150 miles at 80% charge. But if it was like say 27 degrees outside, it would be at 125.
Really? It goes down.
Yeah. So
That's
the colder it gets, the lower charge rate you get.
That's what I was wondering. Okay, so what's the highest? Does it go to 100% or it does?
So during the summer times, I get 210
Oh, you do.
at 80%. So if you're not driving it, if you're driving it local, you should only charge it at 80%. If you're driving far distance,
Then you charge it to
100.
100.
Yeah.
Okay, and then do you have the hookup at the house, and what is that like? I haven't did it yet. I still gotta do mine, so I gotta put the hookup into
It's
it.
easy. You just call an electrician. Just do it all.
And then they put it in. But do you go? Is it better to go outside, or
No, having your own, just have it charge overnight is easier.
is that much easier?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. What got you into cars?
So I'm the youngest out of the
Two
three.
brothers, right?
And 2 brothers. They both had cars. When I asked them for a ride, they would always say no. Right? My oldest is 8 years older than me. The second is 7 years older than me. And they would always not drive me anywhere. It would always, I'd have to do something in order to get something back, which is complete bullshit. Don't
It
treat,
is.
I hope, do you have any siblings?
Yes,
Okay. Are you older or younger?
middle.
Okay. Did you treat your younger one nice?
I got beat up by both of them.
Oh,
So
okay,
I had 2
so-
sisters, so it was like.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
so that's different. Okay, so I have 2 older brothers. So they were always tighter, and I was the one that was set apart from them. So
Okay.
I was like 7, 8 years younger than them. So I always said to them, you know what? You don't want to drive me? That's fine. I'll drive myself, and I'll figure it out on my own. And when I have a car, it's going to be better than you, no matter what. And then every year it was always better and better and better. But then until I lived into the city, it was just the rest was over. Like until I came back into the suburbs and I had a car again. But growing up, I got into cars because it was just something that I told myself I'm going to be better than you. So my my brothers, they learned to drive stick shift, and I said, I'm gonna be better than you, and I did, and so I'm just, I always go big or go home kind of person. So
you're not too competitive, I guess. Huh? What got that? What was that? I guess the brothers, right? The competitive spirit.
Yeah.
Did you play sports growing up? Or?
Yeah, just like going to the park, playing handball, messed up my hand playing basketball. I mean, I was never on teams because growing up, like my schools never had those things, and my parents were too busy to bring me anywhere.
Sure.
So it was just whatever I could learn, like growing up at the park. So. But I was always been competitive. I always try to learn everything. But I think it wasn't until I got older and I can get myself to places that I went to go snowboard. I learned to bowl. I'm a big bowler. Hope you're joining the league.
Oh, I'll do it. My son's a really good bowler.
What
He
other
bowls without
activities?
using the finger things. He throws it with his...
Oh, yeah. No, I have, my hands are smaller. Fingertip.
We're doing a bowling league?
We are. Guess
Cool.
You're not aware of that.
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
You need to join.
Okay.
So you need to form a team of 4.
Okay.
Talk to Linda. She's in charge.
She knew
A lot
better.
of the money goes to KW Care, so please join.
Okay.
What else do I
You guys don't
handball,
want me in it 'cause
basketball.
I'm very competitive, so...
Good.
I
We're
don't
going to
lose.
do 50. I'm going to try to see if we can contribute like 50-50 boxes, 50-50 raffles, and like do some other things.
Does it
All
have
the
to
money
be-
goes to
Does it have to be
KW Cares.
agents, or can you bring anybody on your team?
I mean, ideally, referral partners that are also involved.
Okay.
What else am I into? Cars. I'm into fast cars, motorcycles,
Are you into bikes too?
into bikes. Never got one though, because parents would kill me
What's the fastest you ever went?
on anything.
Yeah.
195.
Holy shit. 195. What does that feel like?
Oh, obviously, I mean, I wasn't the one riding the bike, so it was kind of a little
What does
different.
that feel like?
It's a rush of adrenaline. Yeah.
195. You hit, you're done. It's like
Yeah, you did. Like,
there's no coming back.
No.
At 195.
and I think I was like probably 95 pounds at the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Lucky you didn't fall off.
Yeah, but I was such an adrenaline junkie when I was younger that I was like, it was very, it was wild. Like those are, I think which is why I was bringing back, like, I have no regrets in my life because I loved my life. I think like you make mistakes and you deal with it.
Make a mistake at 195, you ain't dealing with it.
Yeah, that would be over. But but I'm just saying in general, you make a mistake, you deal with it, you move on, and you figure out how you're going to get
Not
better at it,
Not
right?
make the same mistake. Yeah.
Right. Not make the same mistake, but just do it better, right? Don't cry over spilled milk. There's no point about it. I mean, there are all these cliche sayings, but it's all true, right? Like you either put action into your life or just keep talking about it over and over again. So I did a lot in my time. Could I have saved a lot more money? Yeah, I could have, but I didn't because I just blew it all on dumb things. And
But you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
What dumb things are your cars and
Cars, vacations, like
memories.
recreational, like gambling or like just anything. I've always wanted. The other day, actually, I met a client who we just put an LOI in for a warehouse.
Okay.
And I don't know, like the conversation started getting kind of weird, and he was asking me, "Wow, you don't sound like you're 41." I'm like, "No, I'm 41." She's like, and I'm like, "Well, I'm 41. Maybe I just sound young, or I try to keep my voice, at a certain tone, like, so I can get the deal done." And he said, "Oh, well, yeah, you definitely have a nice tone." I'm like, and I also like to sing. And so within like the hour of showing the property and discussing the LOI, like we somehow talked about like my hobbies and stuff like that. He goes, "Wow, you're like a jack of all trades. What are you master at?" I'm like, "Everything." If you're going to go do something, you better do it great, right? Don't just be mediocre at it. Don't just keep talking about it. Put pen to paper and put action to it. And how else are you going to get shit done?
Love it. All right, so Gonna wrap it up soon, and I want to have you back because this was amazing. I learned so much. Went by quick, right?
Well, I kind of missed my 1:30, so okay.
Sorry about that. What's your goals for 25?
Well, I lost. I'm not top. I'm not number one this year
Okay.
or last year. So I guess just for a small goal would be to just go back to being number one. And I think the only way to reach that for me this year is I need to
lost.
recruit. I lost. If you're not number one, then you lost.
That's right.
Right?
Number one loser.
Right. Exactly.
Number two, that's all they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're not number one, you've lost. And so I think I was number one in transactions, but I lost in
awesome.
GCI.
Okay.
So
But
I
isn't,
think,
isn't it better that you have that competition now where, I know what you're going to say, no, it's not because I lost, but
no, it's great.
it's really
I
good.
welcome healthy, friendly competition always. And I said it at FSO when I went with Linda. I forgot the topic, but I think we were talking about ALC and like agents in the office, that one of the things about culture is that you have to welcome healthy competition, right? If you're always going to think that you're the smartest person in the room, then you've already
in the wrong
lost.
room, yeah. Definitely in the wrong room. Get out of that room.
Yeah.
I said it all the time. Yeah, 1,000%. So what are you
Because
gonna,
honestly, if the environment didn't change within like probably a couple of years, I probably would have left.
You had to.
Yeah.
It was just the way it was. I wouldn't blame you.
I would have gotten tired of being combative with Andy.
That's funny. Now I got to do it. So,
No, you do it.
no, I
'Cause
do it. I love it. But different person. It's amazing. That's a totally different conversation. But who would have thunk that me and her would be really good friends now?
She's a great
She
person.
is.
Yeah.
Amazing person. So anyway, I do look forward to seeing what you're going to accomplish in 2025. I want to have you back on here in a couple months, and I get you back in the rotation. I'll explain to you what we're going to do next. But this was great learning about you. Love everything about you. You're so awesome. Be number one. Look forward to what you're going to do in 2025.
All right, great. Thank you.